Shikishi boards are probably my favorite material to brush calligraphy on because not only they look great and they're very sturdy, but they're also really easy to frame. This week I have to brush this calligraphy for a commission, and I thought it would be a good idea to bring you along and show you the process that I go through making one of these calligraphies. The first thing that I do is that I create a new document and type the calligraphy and print it out. And now I'll use this to start practicing different versions and styles of this kanji. One thing that I always do for calligraphies that I'm selling specifically is that I never do the first try. I never give out the first one that I make. The first draft is never the one that goes up for sale. I always do a bunch of them, and I do that because sometimes it just doesn't come out the way you want it to, or it doesn't have the right feel, the right energy. And the practice session is just as important as the time that you're going to actually do the calligraphy in the paper where the final one is going to be. So if you're preparing to brush a calligraphy that you're planning on selling, don't cut yourself short on the amount of time that you spend practicing. Since I'm going to eventually brush this calligraphy on a small Shikishi board, which is only 9.5 by 10 inches, I need to start practicing this kanji on these dimensions so that I start to get used to how the kanjis fit in this space. So what I like to do is I like to first cut a bunch of paper, newspapers, and regular hanshi paper and cut them to this size and start practicing. I have this piece of plywood that I have cut to the size of the Shikishi board so that I can use it as a template to cut my practice paper. I also have a few of these sheets of hanshi paper that I want to cut down to the size of the Shikishi board too, because the newspaper is for the rough drafts, but once I start to get into a more finalized draft, I want to do it on the hanshi paper so that I can have the white background and the ink absorption, it will be similar to the one on the Shikishi paper. Alright, so now that I have my paper cut down to the size of the Shikishi board, I can start practicing. I'm not very familiar with this kanji in particular, so I'm going to practice this one first. Are going to look individually, and I have a few ideas. You know, it's a 4 kanji calligraphy, so it could go many different ways. It could go 1, 2, 3, 4. It can be one character big, the other one small. I'm gonna practice them all up and see which one I like the best. gonna go with. The first kanji, which is the kanji for light, is gonna be big and bold, and it's gonna take out basically half of the Shikishi board. And then the other three characters are going to be much smaller, taking the other half, and all three of them basically occupying the same amount of space, a third, a third, and a third. I'm a huge fan of this layout. In fact, I have a bunch of calligraphy on my Etsy shop that have this same layout, and I like it because it has a contrast of one big bold character with a couple of smaller, with finer line characters. Practicing this layout, I'm feeling good about it. It's coming very natural now. I don't have to force it too much. I feel like I got the spacing down too, so I think I'm ready to go and brush this on the Shikishi board. I don't have a lot of these Shikishi boards, and I have 2 more commissions that I have to do on them, so I gotta make sure I don't screw this up. I have a good feeling that I'll be able to do this in just one try. This one come out looks very similar to the one that I was practicing on the hanshi, so it's clear that I was able to transfer that into the Shikishi board on one try. I only did it one time, and then this is how it came out. So I'm super excited about it. I really like it a lot. This is my favorite part, is the big character. This one came out really good too. This guy over here, which I started practicing for the first time today, because that was a very complex character. I haven't done that before. Really happy with the way it came out. That's it. I just gave you an overview on the process that I go through when I have a commission that I have to brush, and it starts with understanding the characters, doing a lot of practice, and then just focusing and then doing the final piece, and make sure that you are super happy with it, that you feel good not only was charging for it, but also that you're gonna put your stamps on it and chip it, and knowing that that calligraphy is gonna be out into the world. And if you're interested in owning one of my calligraphies, I want to tell you that I have an Etsy shop, and the link is down below, where I have a bunch of calligraphies like this one on this style, on these Shikishi boards, up for sale there. And I appreciate if you pick one of those, because it helps support the studio and this channel as well. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.